Episode 3 of the Hook, Riff and Banger podcast.
There we are. It's good to be here this time.
It is good. I'm Jess.
I'm Dan.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here.
Yeah.
Enjoyed you on the others.
It's been a really fun time.
It's very cool.
It's going to be fun seeing you on more podcasts.
If it all goes well.
You'll be fine.
All right, cool. We'll see.
What's the worst that could happen?
I feel like I could get hit by an axe today, potentially.
What makes you think that?
Don't know. We'll find out though, right?
Interesting.
Yeah. So what are we doing today?
Well, today we have a very special guest. Welcome to the podcast. Can you tell us who you are, what you're doing here?
Nah! I'm Myles from Barbariön, and thank you very much for having me today.
Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome.
I can see why you thought we could possibly get hit by an axe today.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe this is my first and last time, but we'll see how we go.
Potentially. Tell us about the band and how long you've been doing it.
Barbariön formed in, would have been April of 2007. So we actually formed at one of the old Cherry Rocks. So I just got back from my honeymoon after getting married and felt like I had to overcompensate. So I thought, I'm going to start a band. So I asked a few of my shady mates, and the rest is history. We're sort of in the studio for about a year, just writing new songs. We elect not to do, too many covers, not to be a covers band. So we wrote a series of originals, some of which we still perform today. And we had our first gig on Winter Solstice 2008.
Wow.
So we've been going since then. So however many years that is now, I've lost count.
I've never been good at maths.
16 years, I guess, plus. I love that thing. It's so me.
You've been graced with the bejeweled microphone of today.
I'll just take this thing off so I can hear you.
It's got a handsome head under there.
Thank you.
So you've been in the scene for some time? You said 2008, seven?
I've been sort of used to sing occasionally in a mate's band, Dynamo and the Horner Sexuals as T-Bar. So
Awesome.
Probably I did Meredith, I think, in 2006 or something like that. So that was a bit of fun. And I was like, no, I need to do more with this. So
you've been with other bands, other projects, and still going at the moment?
Yeah, sort of started out as a more as a roadie type, just hanging out with muso mates, and tried my hand at sound, but I was rubbish at that. So I just thought, I better go do something else then.
And you've killed your way to the top now.
Well, I've always been loud, so so it was an easy fit.
What is your favourite Aussie band right now?
Right now,
it's a hard question.
See, I'm a bit of an old schooler, so I like my Chisel and Rosie Tats and things like that. The first album I ever bought was AC/DC, so I'd have to probably say, that sort of, more that 70s and 80s, Oz rock I've always had a very soft spot for, so. But, also I do like my British metal as well, that sort of, 80s type metal and stuff like that, 70s and 80s metal. I've always been a big fan of that.
Excellent.
But in terms of actually giving a band, look, if I had to say an actual band, depends what mood I'm in, but probably overall I'd probably have to say AC/DC. Yeah, it's just been a staple in my life for a long, long time. Yeah.
So what kind of bands are you into that aren't around anymore? Still around, upcoming bands, anything like that you can speak on?
I'm terrible with remembering bands' names, like the amount of bands I gigged with and I'd rather like them, but I can't remember what their names are.
Fair.
So I'm terrible with that. I do apologise. In terms of older bands, I grew up listening to Gold 104 in the 80s, so there's plenty of bands of there I like. But probably I always liked a bit of Led Zeppelin. I don't think they're touring anymore, are they? Maybe Dire Straits, a bit of that sort of stuff. I don't think they're going anymore.
Yeah.
We're in that cusp now of all those cool older bands are starting to sort of, retire. Like I don't think Judas Priest is doing much touring, at least not over here, but I've always liked them. So it's sort of, I missed out on the last Iron Maiden show, which I'm kicking myself over, but unfortunately it got away from me. So
I think a lot of us are actually.
Yeah. So,
I'm in that boat too.
Yeah. So, sort of, all that sort of, that sort of heavier stuff from the 70s and 80s I've always kind of really liked, yeah.
What is your favourite Melbourne music venue, either to play or see gigs at?
Whoa, that's a tough one because they've gone through so many changes. I would have said the old punters going back 20 years ago, because that was a great dirty venue. But I know they've opened up again. I haven't been there, but I heard it's a gastro pub now.
Yeah.
I used to like the old front bar at the Espy.
Yeah.
That was great, but I know that's all changed, and I haven't been back there in a while.
Is this the downstairs one, or
no, the one at the front,
Yeah,
front bar. The old front bar
right.
was like it was a weird sort of triangular shaped, and fairly low head height on the ceiling, but it was always just a great sort of dirty sort of pub venue.
Yeah.
Tote I've always got a soft spot, in my heart for the Tote. We went to the Slam rally in 2013.
Cool.
Remember, I drove straight from a meeting for work in Castle Main straight to the Slam rally to make sure I was there. And we did our first residency there in 2008. It would have been about September, or probably about this time of year. We did a week of Wednesdays there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, midweek residencies are tough, especially when you do them for a month straight. By the end of it, we're just knackered because you're still going to work during the day, and you're doing that at night. So, but yeah, Tote I've always got a soft spot in my heart for.
Yeah. How did you find the residency gigs? Did you find you grew a crowd, or it teetered here and there? Or
yeah, we actually started out with a few people just going, "What the hell is this?" And then by the end of the month, there was a decent crowd, especially for a Wednesday night. So.
Yeah, I think your act is good. You might surprise a lot of people, but
grab
a lot of fans. That was my case. I can't remember when I saw you first. I'm guessing it would have been like 2014 or something. I was a lot younger and didn't know what I was walking into. Absolute blast.
Yeah. I mean, let's say we do put a lot of effort into. I mean, people. I mean, obviously we've got the costumes as a bit of a hook, but we do also rehearse quite a lot. So we always want to make sure that our music is as good as it can be, which it was not easy trying to find the time to rehearse and stuff like that. So yeah. But we do find a lot of enjoyment out of it. So
that's good,
and we hope that sort of comes through on the shows. So
I'd say it does.
Yeah.
What was what has been your favourite venue to play at? Maybe a bigger venue. You played some big stages.
Yeah, we did Meredith one year. That was pretty cool. The old Hi-Fi bar. What's that one called now? That's Max
Watts.
What's his?
Watts.
Yeah. I still think of that as Wall Street, but that's a while ago now. It was called that. That was also a good venue because it's got a bit of a amphitheatre feel to it, but. I mean, sometimes even just playing at a mate's farm is fun. So, yeah, it depends upon. To me, it's more about the energy that you have in the gig than the actual venue itself. So, but yeah, I mean, we've done most of the, dirty rock venues around Melbourne, and I'd say probably I like them all. Probably, I reckon the best one we ever did was in terms of. Maximum people shoved onto a stage was the old Pony, which had a smaller stage than what the Cherry Pony does now. We had 7 blokes plus about 6 flame projectors on stage as well. Yeah, that was a 2 a.m. gig. Yeah, the old Pony million o'clock gigs. So yeah, that was also good. So I mean, I've always got I like each gig for. I suppose each gig's always a little bit. Different. You find different things that you like in them. Like, let's say even some of the smaller gigs, I actually prefer where you've got maybe just one step off stage because then you can get up close and personal with everyone, and it doesn't with all the fans, and that's sort of there's no real, I suppose, demarcation between what's stage and what's audience then, and I really like that.
I feel like you're good at interacting with the crowd and. Maybe even singling out individuals from time to time.
It's a very interactive experience.
Yeah. Do you have anything to say on that? Do you like to target any sort of specific person, any type of person, anyone who might look a bit awkward?
It's funny that you're looking at me. It's funny that you're looking at me.
Yeah, sure. We target anyone. It's always fun to get the people that are sort of a little bit shy and they, you can see them. You sort of walk up to them and go, "Give me
I'm feeling triggered from last Saturday now.
And then you get those people that are always good for an hour. So if you want to make sure that like let's say towards the end of the gig, if you're getting a bit of a vocal fry, you just get come on in, just yell into this, would you? Yeah. So yeah, no, it's it's always good to do that. So
Yeah.
you know, I remember, you know, first when we first started doing that, it used to freak people out. So, but
That's fair.
I remember once in Croatia, we were playing there when we went on tour in 2013 there, and just in amongst the audience, and this bloke, he was pretty built as well, just gave me a full hip and shoulder in the back. So I just feel this bang, and I went, oh shit, here we go.
Oh my God.
I've managed to just keep my balance, but yeah, that was pretty full on trying to still sing while someone gives you a full hip and shoulder in the back. So
You weren't armed at the time, were you?
you know, other than what I'm wearing now, so you know, a few spikes and things like that. So you know, I've lost a couple through the years, but
Hopefully
you know,
one in his shoulder.
yeah.
It's a real immersive experience.
Yeah, that's it.
Tell us about your first trip to Europe. That's a pretty exciting story.
Yeah, that was kind of fun. It was actually we actually organised our trip, and then the guy that was going to be our booking agent and stuff like that just sort of disappeared, and so we ended up basically organising our own tour. Didn't get as many gigs as we were hoping, but we picked up some along the way and stuff like that. So, and so we went up with these bunch of crazy like they were bikers, but as in push bikes, not motorbikes. They were these guys that used to like make sort of medieval armor and stuff like that out of bits of bicycles, and then have jousting, sort of contests and the like. And yeah, they had a club called a Jägerklaus, which was in the east of Berlin. Yeah, that was some of the best times we've ever had with those guys. So yeah,
Excellent.
yeah. And one thing I do like about Europe is that they have much lower taxes on beer, so you can get hammered and you've still got plenty of money in your
Yes.
wallet the next day.
Can vouch for that, for sure.
Absolutely. Some fond memories.
Yeah, but when we went there, it was grouse. We went up to Sweden and played at a Muscle Rock, which was it's kind of like old 1950s fairground, about 2 hours north of Malmo. I forget the exact name of the town, but that was pretty cool. Lots of bands that sort of were there. We played with a band called Bullet as well, which almost came out here. Unfortunately, they couldn't make their tour work financially. So
Yeah.
so we played with them there and plenty of other bands. You know, we were mistaken for a bunch of Germans because we had like German number plates on the van that we hired, because we got like this big Sprinter van full of backline and amps and drums and all sorts of things. And
Wow.
yeah, because we got these ridiculous kind of tent sets from Melbourne, from this place that was honestly like a shopping centre that looked like a massive IKEA in Sweden there, and yeah, they had these kind of fluoro yellow tent sets, and then we set them all up in a row. And then remember all the locals were laughing at us, going, ha, 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 look at these stupid Germans. Ha, ha, ha. They have all of their tents lined up. They look so stupid. Ha, ha, ha. I said, no, we're not from Germany. We're from Australia. You're from Austria? No, Australia, other side of the world. Oh, I said, we just bought these bloody tents in Malmo because it's the only thing that we could find. The thing is, though, the tent was actually shorter than me, so I had to sort of sleep in the fetal position.
Was there a tone shift when they found out you're Australian?
Yeah, they sort of relaxed a little bit because the Germans aren't sort of well liked in Europe outside of Germany for, I think, primarily historical reasons. So
Yeah, potentially. Yeah.
We've all had an experience at a festival where we're not big enough for our tent. It's a good time. It just adds to the experience, I think.
I don't get that. I'm a pretty short guy, so
Look, the thing
fit in
is,
any
though, is like summer over there, you got about 18 hours, 20 hours a day worth of lights. So
Yeah.
I remember I woke up and looked at my watch and went, "Oh no, it's 3:30," and I thought we're playing at 1:30, but the sun was already up, so I thought we'd missed our gig. So I was in a flat panic. Then I realised it was 3:30 a.m., but the sun was already up, so you didn't get much sleeping in there anyway. So you didn't really need the tent.
that's fair. I imagine getting yourself to Europe in the band is probably a surprise from when you started. Did you have any expectations or any hopes when you first started Barbariön?
Yeah, I just wanted to rock.
Nice. and you rocked your way to Europe.
Yeah, it was like, no, I feel like I'm going to do more with my life. And yeah, no, it was just sort of, one thing I liked about the idea of doing something like this is it just gives you a great platform to do anything stupid and excessive and call it art. And you can, if you start calling it art, you can get away with murder. Where on earth could I would be able to walk around like this anywhere else and people consider that to be normal?
Excellent. And people enjoy what you do, which is
Thank you.
Which is cool.
Yeah, it was like when we did our 10th anniversary, and I ran up the steps of Parliament dressed like this, and I'm standing there waiting to do the shot, and these cops roll over and, mate, what are you doing? Oh yeah, no, we're just doing a video shoot. Yeah, don't worry, my mate over there's got the all the paperwork and stuff like that. So he had some email from some artist's body saying that blah blah blah, it was authorised and this that and the other. So we actually had authorisation to do a video shoot, and they saw the paperwork and went, oh, okay, well it's fine. So we did our video shoot, and it was all good. And the poor police is going, we're just not too sure what's going on here, but anyway, everything seems legit, so we'll just leave it alone.
Excellent.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Is there a band that you've always wanted to play with, either Australian or international? Who's on the bucket list?
Yeah, I'd love to play with Judas Priest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've always loved Rob Halford. Any man who's got like a 4-octave range is, I think he's over four octave. I don't know, I'm only probably about 3.5. So, is just an amazing voice and, just great on stage and all the studs and stuff like that. I mean, it was actually Rob Halford that started that whole kind of studs and heavy metal thing. I think in the very early 1970s or something like that. So, yeah, I've always liked what he's done. So yeah.
I like him. He's a cat guy as well. That
he
helps.
does love his cats. Yeah, I follow him on Facebook, and there's
his
lots of
Instagram is a gift.
cat memes.
The best thing I've ever watched.
And his denim jacket. It's like a trench coat. It's covered in patches. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and motorcycles on stage. That's one thing I want to go to next is seeing if I can fit a motorcycle on stage. Maybe do it at Cherry Pony.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Maybe you could shoot a motorcycle out of a cannon onto the stage.
Whoa,
that's what I'm dreaming for you.
I think you're onto something there. Yeah.
I want to see that show.
Yeah, from a different angle. I don't know if I want to be near it, respectfully for my own health and safety, but we'll see.
I'd see that show.
So you do some crazy stuff on stage. Have you seen any crazy interactions, aside from maybe someone hip and shouldering you, but any cool, crazy stuff from any fans or anyone in your crowds?
Oh, some of the times, we get better costumes out of the fans than we get out of ourselves. Actually, we went up to, did a gig up at Cryle Castle, and we felt positively underdressed. So, that was a good gig. And one thing I love about the fans as well, they remember your songs better than what you do. So.
Yes.
Because some of the times you're thinking, I haven't done this in a while. What are the bloody lyrics? And you can see them mouthing it back. It's like, excellent, I'll just follow them. Yeah.
That's when you give the mic to the crowd.
Yeah. It's just like, forget this, how this one's going. I've had a few too many beers before the gig, and it's been a big week, so I've forgotten.
Excellent.
Now, a little birdie tells us that you are involved in putting together a lot of your own pyrotechnics for the show. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, we do actually. We have done pyrotechnics from time to time. So we actually have a guy that does the actual pyro, which we don't tend to use it that much because it's quite difficult to organise and insurance and stuff like that. But in terms of the fire isn't actually defined as a pyrotechnic. So we actually have our own flame projectors, which we just set up and. Yeah, I mean, so they're quite good. We've got up to 10 machines. I think at one of our gigs, I just went, let's put them all on stage. So, so it's we sort of made up our own sort of a control system for it that's hardwired just to keep it a bit safe and make sure we actually have a bloke who knows our songs and run it and stuff like that, who knows our movements on stage. Because I've been, we've all copped a few blasts before. Like in the early days, we used to run a propane gas, like basically what they run in those camp gas cylinders. That burns hot. Yeah, and our bassist Yuri used to like to solo in the actual fire, and then you just end up getting nearly third degree burns. So we tried a few different fuels over the years. Early days, we also used to use a bit of canola oil, spray canola oil, but. The trouble is the gig used to, I used to quite like it because the gig would end up smelling like a fish and chip shop. So, that that was good. I really enjoyed that. You'd finish your job and go, I'm hungry. You know, so, and
Smelled a bit of energy. It's
yeah.
hungry.
So, but the only thing is with the canola oil doesn't burn that well, and so our drummer was losing his drumsticks all the time because his hands were getting all greasy. Like for instance, and then so we changed over to isopropyl alcohol. So in an aerosol can that burns cool. So you can actually get a full blast to the head, and it will singe some hair, but it won't actually give you any burning.
Wow.
Yeah, but if we want the really big fire, you go for inox. So that's like a penetrating spray used for cars and stuff like that to free up rusty bolts and things like that. So that one will give you about a 4 metre fire. I remember when we did it at Meredith, I said, "Oh yeah, don't worry, the fire, it's probably a little bit higher than me. It's not that big, blah blah blah. Made up of JSA and made it all look fancy, and so it had all the paperwork to do it. And I saw a photograph after the gig, and there was this column of fire that was clearly twice my height. I thought, yeah, I'm glad they didn't pull us up on that.
Whoa.
Made for a great show though.
This has become the most educational interview and episode that we've had on this podcast so far.
This is excellent.
Come to us for fire tips.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. It sounds like you've had a lot of experience in that's
trial
and error maybe.
Yeah. Well, it's just there was
some potentially drastic consequences.
Yeah, there was a lot of R&D that went into trying out different fuels and different jet sizes and all sorts of things. So got some. Yeah, but we run sort of like the a certain run these what I call a double. They're like a double pump. They have like 2 cans inside them. So normally I only run the 1 can in them for say gigs inside, and then you run 2 cans for gigs outside, and you just play around with the fuel mix for getting the sort of image that you want, because you want to make sure that you get that good sort of a good intense sort of fire, because that's that sort of that light is something very primal about fire that really gets people going. So we always love a bit of fire, right? Unfortunately, more and more venues nowadays are going, fire? No, you can't do that. It's like we've been using it for a better part of 15 years without any issues. So I think the first time we ever used it was at I think Cherry Rock in 07 or something like that. And so I just went, oh, this is good. We'll just keep on doing this from here on in. So
excellent.
Yeah.
I take it you've had some good success stories with some of the stuff you've built, set up. Have you had anything unexpected, not so good happen in this trial and error R&D? Yeah,
look, when we were using, say, like figuring out which fuels to use, in the flame projectors, when you use the inox, it looks great, but tends to leave a bit of oily residue, so you've got to be careful where you use it. I remember once I slipped when we were doing a gig at Plastic, which is that it's the pub down near the Spencer Street there. Oof. Oh, I forget the name of it. Anyway, it was it was a fairly decent sized crowd, and I was moving around. I slipped on the on the oil and then kicked the flame projector into the audience. It was like all these like 19, 20-year-old kids, because it was a pretty young audience, just going, don't worry about it, guys. I just picked it up, put it back on.
It's all part of the show.
Yeah,
excellent.
Yeah, I mean, usually if something goes wrong, we just roll with it. Like we've got a cannon which is incredibly heavy, so made it out of some old pallets and stuff like that, and some old bits of old pressure vessels I pinched from work and stuff like that. So. They were in the scrap bin. So just made out of bits and bobs. And
excellent.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't had any. I suppose we've had a few spinal tap moments. I think we dropped that skull once or something like that. And so tried a few other bits and bobs. We haven't sort of always recovered from it and just roll with it. I guess kind of like that thing.
Roll with the punches.
Yeah. And then the thing is, as it gets to a point where people don't actually know what's actually meant to happen and what's not, it's just like that. Just let the chaos reign.
Excellent. Very rock and roll.
Yeah. What is coming up? What can we expect to hear and see from Barbariön in the future? Oh,
well, we've been working on an album for a while. Mm. Mind you, if our last video clip, which took 7 years to make, anything to go by, that'll take a little while to do. So. But we need to finish an album, and we're looking to go. We're very actually booked for a Japan trip.
Excellent.
So really looking forward to that one. We've just got to find a time window when we can get sort of 7-8 blokes in in the time window that they all match up. So yeah, just sort of working through that one. Hopefully we can get that done. We're hoping to get that probably done sort of early to mid next year. So yeah.
Awesome.
So that'd be good. I've never been to Japan, so
Awesome.
But I mean, there are manga characters that look like me, like Voodoo Fist of the North Star. I actually bought a little figurine of him. It's like, my God, it's me.
If that's anything to go by, the reception of you might be welcomed. Very much so.
I love that.
Any gigs booked in locally?
Yeah, we're doing the Gasso 1st of November.
Nice.
So, and then after that, I think we've got another one before Christmas or something like that. But I just punch it into the diary and look at my diary and go, oh wow, I've got a gig coming up. I better get ready for it. But yeah, I know we've got one on at the Gasso coming up. So I haven't actually done that one before. So I'm looking forward to that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll be there.
We will be there.
Yeah, maybe
When was that? 1st of November?
Yeah.
Nice.
I think it's a Friday night
Put
gig.
it in the shared calendar.
Yeah, that's it. Future gig guide.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming and chatting to us.
No worries. Thanks for
awesome.
having me.
I do have one more question for you.
Yep.
Can I try your helmet on?
By all means, it is rather heavy though.
How do I get out of here?
You're trapped. I'll get it for you.
I'm trapped. How heavy are we talking?
It's not too bad.
I'm scared.
It is pretty it's got lots of sharp
I feel like
bits,
this is my opportunity to do it, so I've got to do it. Oh my God.
Suits you.
I can't see anything.
Yep, try singing in that.
Yeah, how do you do it?
Oh, you sort of get used to
I've
it.
noticed that you took it off after the first song.
Well, you can't move around much with it, so it's good to come out in it, and I love that helmet. It's cool.
Do you want to give it a go?
Oh, I might do.
This
is this a new look for you though?
This is, you know what? You should sell helmets at the merch desk.
I would buy a helmet.
I'd buy a helmet. Oh, it looks
I think
great.
it suits you. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's quite cozy in here.
Yeah.
You just become part of Barbariön.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Very nice. Well, I look forward to seeing you at one of my future gigs. Thank you for coming today. I really appreciate it.
Yep. No worries. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks for letting us try your helmet on.
No worries.
It's very cool.
Can I hold your axe?
Sure. Yeah, that's an old Russian axe. It's a medieval.
That's had some use.
It's so heavy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's actually lighter than I used to use an actual
I reckon this is heavier than the helmet.
sledgehammer on stage, and used to swing that around. Used to terrify the other guys in the band.
Thanks for listening to episode 3 of the Hook Riff and Banger. Oh, geez. The Hook Riff and Banger.
It's a mouthful.
Oh, my God. Thanks for listening to episode 3 of the Hook Riff and Banger podcast. We've been chatting with Myles today. Thank you for coming. We'll see you at the next one.
Barbariön are playing at the Gasso on the 1st of November. We'll all be there. Thank you so much for chatting to us today, Myles.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ah!